Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be bringing you 3 different curries, which is meat bhuna, which is lamb meat bhuna, mirga mas fish with boroi tengha, and prawn bhuna. So firstly I'm just going to chop up some onions and get that ready for my meat curry. I'm going to put the gas on high and add about half a cup of vegetable oil. And to that I'm going to add my frozen garlic and ginger. I like to add it before the oil actually heats up because it splatters everywhere. Now I'm just adding my onions, and I'm also going to add in bay leaves and cinnamon sticks. Also I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of salt. This will help the onions soften quicker. So now I'm going to add in my lamb meat and put the gas on high and let that cook. So while the meat is cooking, I'm going to get my next curry ready. So I'm just chopping up some onions ready for my prawn bhuna. And first what I like to do is half cook my prawns in some garlic so the prawn absorbs all the garlic flavour, and then I'll put that aside. To the same pot I have added about half a cup of vegetable oil and about 2 onions. And now I'm going to just add the salt to help that soften quicker. And once the onions have softened, I will start adding my spices. Now going back to the meat curry, once all the water has evaporated and the oil has separated like this, you want to add in all your spices. So I've added in about half a teaspoon of turmeric, about 2 teaspoons of curry powder, and about 2 teaspoons of chili powder, and then about 1 teaspoon of coriander powder and 1 teaspoon of cumin powder. And you want to mix that very well until you get rid of all this raw spice smell. Going back to the prawn bhuna, once your onions have softened, you can add in all your spices. So I've added half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon of curry powder, 1 teaspoon of chili powder. I would have added more, but I'm adding fresh chilies, so I'm just going to add 1. Half a teaspoon of coriander powder and half a teaspoon of cumin powder. Again, you want to mix all the spices very well until you get rid of the raw spice smell. Now to that I'm going to add in 1 tomato and some fresh chilies, and you want to really mix this well until you get rid of that raw spice smell. You can add your prawns now, and again mix that very well, and at this point your raw spice smell should have gone. So you just want to cook the prawns for a little bit in the spice. Now going back to the meat, at this point all your raw spice smell has gone, so I'm just going to add some water from the kettle. By adding water, this will help the meat to absorb all that spice and all that flavour. And then you're just going to put the heat down to low and let that simmer for a bit. To the prawns, I'm going to add a bit of water from the kettle. This will help all the prawns to absorb all the flavour. Also, I'm going to give it a little mix and let that simmer on low heat, and garnish it with coriander. Moving on to my third curry, which is milgamas with boroi tengha. This is a sour dish. So first I'm going to add half a cup of vegetable oil, and then I'm going to add in my garlic, let that brown, and then I'm going to add in 1 medium onion. Also going to add about 1.5 teaspoon of salt, followed by some kettle water. To my washed fish, I am adding half a teaspoon of turmeric powder and about half a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to give that a good mix. So I've got my oil heating in a pan, and I'm going to fry my fish and add that to the curry later. So my onions have softened, and now I'm going to mash the onions with a potato masher until it becomes a paste, and then you can add all your spices. So now I'm just adding half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon of curry powder, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, about half a teaspoon of coriander powder, and a quarter teaspoon of cumin powder. Again, you want to mix that very well until you get rid of the raw spice smell. Once you have cooked all your spices very well, you can add water from the kettle, and then to that I'm going to add in my fried fish and let the fish absorb all the flavours. Once it has come up to boil, you can add your frozen boroi or fresh boroi, whatever you have. And at this point I'm going to add a bit more water because this curry needs a lot of sauce. And I'm going to let that simmer for probably another 5 minutes. And then garnish it with coriander and it's done. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please like, comment and subscribe to my channel, which will help me out a lot. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.